Greetings, people of the internet. This is Cardiacs, and today is an unplanned video. Honestly, lately I've been procrastinating so much that I'm proud of myself for actually getting this done. So, yeah. I've just had so many ideas for videos and just no motivation to get them done. Regardless, this is kind of an experiment. I want to start doing animation, and the best style for doing so is not my style. My style is kind of vaguely inspired by anime and manga. Like, that's how I started to learn how to draw. When I was about 12, a friend of mine introduced me to manga, and I liked it, so I started using it to draw by copying, not tracing, the images in the comic. And my dog is visiting me, so if you hear noises, that's my dog and cat. Ah, there's a nose in my armpit. Stop, please. Stop, please. Ah, too much love at the moment. Where was I? Uh, my friend introduced me to manga, and that's how I got my start. And it was interesting for a while, but for some reason, I always thought that art had to be realistic. Like, everything I draw had to have elements of realism. Like, that was what I wanted my art style to be. I wanted every character I drew to look photorealistic, like Heather Rooney's artwork. And that wasn't realistic. Pardon the pun. Uh, not intended. Regardless, I eventually realized that that's not the goal exactly for art to be. Yes, it's based on reality, but it doesn't have to be the exact same. It can be an interpretation of the real world. And that's essentially what my artwork is, but that's essentially what everybody's artwork is. In any case, my style is kind of a more realistic version of any kind of cartoonistic style, I guess. It's not exactly anime-ish. The closest I get to anime is probably the shape of the eyes, which is, in my opinion, it's kind of subtle. Regardless, my shading style, I'm trying to get closer to that level of realism, because I've seen a lot of artwork that is just amazing to me. I love how illustrative it is, but how the colors relate to each other and show a feeling of realism, like in terms of the shading and the coloring and the highlights, and the world feels like it could be real, even though it isn't. So that is kind of my goal, is to be able to get to that level. And I don't exactly want to stay there, though. I want to be able to branch out and do lots of things. So, backtracking, this comparison experimental video kind of thing is for me to get on the first step of figuring out how to branch out. And what I mean by that is I want to learn how to animate, and I said that so many times, but I haven't exactly gotten started exactly. But this is me getting started, I guess. So, after I finish this somewhat general, normal style of my artwork of Isla, my alien character with the green skin and the greenish blonde hair, I will then redo this drawing, but with a type of cell shading. At least that's what I think it's called. I don't know. It's some kind of of hard shading. And if you don't know what the difference is, let me try to explain. See, soft shading is when the lines between areas are a lot more subtle and soft. For example, the difference between the shadow in the little corner of her eye and the top of her eyelid is soft. It's a soft gradient. But in hard shading styles, there is a kind of line formed between the two tones, or whatever word it is. That's the best way I can explain it at the moment off the top of my head. Regardless, I wanted to attempt learning kind of cell shading, and because it'll hopefully make it a lot easier on me to animate in the future, because the level of shading I do would make animation a nightmare. Although I decided too late that I wanted to kind of time how long it took for me to shade Isla the normal way I do, and for me to do it with cell shading the second time. Well, because I realized this too late, I had to rely on my editing software that was recording this for me. Excuse me. So what I found out through the length of the recording that I have, which I don't fully trust, because before, when I tried to record something in real time, it felt sped up somehow, like I didn't do anything to it. It was just very slightly sped up. So regardless, the normal version of Isla supposedly took me an hour and a half. Now that feels very fast to me. I'm used to my artwork taking several hours. Although I do admit that I made it easier on myself and only did a sketch that's like not even quite half her body. It doesn't even go all the way down to her waist. So yeah, like a normal full illustration with the entire character's body plus the background could possibly take me 5 hours. So yeah, it's a little bit of a difference. I'm assuming it's because I didn't do that much work, unless my editing software, recording software, whatever software is lying to me. Oh hey look, I'm about to work on the cell shading portion. Okay, yeah. I was actually really shocked by how easy it was for me to do this kind of style, because usually I'm extremely perfectionist. Like everything has to be exactly right and perfect. But I've noticed I've been getting out of that, as well as I've been able to kind of turn off certain thoughts in my head so that I can get something new kind of done. And in this case, I did that. Instead of doing the soft shading, though it was difficult at first because it looked so strange. I'm used to using a very soft marking tool in Manga Studio. And so going from that to the mapping pen, which has a very hard edge, it was very strange for my eyes, because I was creating this instead of watching somebody on YouTube do it. And it was just so odd. But I got over it, and I got used to the idea, and I started to like it, and I was having fun. So that's nice. But yeah. Beyond that, I may actually do more artwork regarding in this kind of cell shading style, because it's a little bit faster, not a lot, because this version took me just an hour according to my software. So the normal version took me an hour and a half, roughly, and the new attempted version took me an hour. So that's like a half-hour distance. Apparently a mile difference. So in the future, I will probably be trying to draw with more of a cel-shaded style. And if not, then I will be practicing trying to get my normal style up to speed of how I want it to be. And what I want it to be is kind of realistic, but also in kind of a cartoonistic way. Like, kind of like how some illustrators will draw anime characters and will shade it realistically and give the characters more realistic proportions, but it's very obviously not realism, if that makes sense. I hope it does, because I'm struggling. I never know if my words make sense. Regardless, I had a little bit too much fun with the hair. Like I was going in with the black pen tool I was using for the line art, which I used a different tool for the layout of the shading. I used one tool for the shading of the colors, and I also used a different tool for the black outline. So like yeah, it was different because I don't ever use these tools that have harder edges to them. But it was fun. It was interesting. I learned a lot. I also actually uh, played with layer grouping, and Manga Studio 5 seems to have a confusion going on with what I can actually do with the layer grouping, but essentially all it really did was help me keep track of which layers were for which half of the experiment. Unfortunately, though, the folders that I used wouldn't let me collapse those uh, things. So I don't know. I don't know. I'll hopefully learn what to do if I'm just derpy and wasn't using it correctly. I don't know. I probably wasn't using it correctly. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. I'm still learning. We're all still learning. Everything is new until you figure it out yourself. Whether a teacher helps you or if you just it just comes clear. I don't know what else to say. That's why I'm going off in a tangent. uh, yeah. Wasn't entirely sure how to go about the shading of her eyes in the hard cell shading version. There's a cat. Go away, cat. I'm busy. Don't jump on me. Yeah, because I'm so used to shading eyes in a soft way, and I never really thought about how it could work if I tried to do it in a hard way. These words could be taken out of context so easily, and I'm sorry. Uh, anyway, this is about over, I think. But yeah, I'm still just strangely surprised and happy with the cell shading portion, so I may do that more often. I don't know about you, but it looks like someone just kind of smeared those colors and somehow got a somewhat recognizable shape on the one on the left. I don't know. I need to learn all the things. Figure out how to get colors to not look so blurry when they're blended together. I love using the blend tool because sometimes colors I choose are too striking, but maybe that's the problem. Maybe they should be striking. I don't know. I'll let you guys know what I figure out as I figure it out, I guess, maybe. Thank you for watching. Uh, please subscribe and like and comment. I like comments. Comments are fun. I like replying to them. Have a nice day. Bye!